What we are planning to do, this is something, and you said it right, which has never ever done before. We're going to cover literally all of Israel.
Well, welcome to our podcast today. It's great to have you with us. And again, my guest today is a returning guest, Isaac Karasenti. Isaac is an Israeli tour guide, Bible expert, and expert in Christianity. He was born and raised in Haifa, Israel, where he now resides. Isaac is also a great personal friend. Isaac, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you very much for hosting me, Jeff. It is always a pleasure to be back with you.
Well, I'm watching there and I see that you're at home and you've got the Israeli flag waving in the reflection of the shot in the background. It makes me a little homesick. I've only been home here for about a week and a half, but we really enjoyed our time in Israel there
Thank
about a
you.
month ago.
Excellent. I am very glad to hear that.
Now, Isaac, we go back a little ways, and you've guided a number of tours for us in the past. But I want to just remind our listeners and our viewers. I know some maybe will be seeing and hearing you for the first time. I'm amazed at your background story. Tell us a little bit about your background. What was it that made you want to become a tour guide? And maybe even if you want to go back a little further and talk about the history of your family. I just think it's so fascinating.
With pleasure. Thank you. So my family name is Karasenti. Karasenti is a Spanish name. Originally, my family came from Spain. We came from Spain to Israel in 1492. So we were quite new here in Israel. You know that until 1492, there was a very big Jewish community in Spain. But as history teaches us, in 1492, the Queen of Spain was Isabella. Her husband was King Ferdinand. And at that time, they made a law that said that all of the Jews who lived in Spain at that time had to convert into Christianity. Otherwise, they told them, you must leave Spain. If not, we're going to kill all of you. Obviously, the Jews at that time didn't want to convert into Christianity, so most of them decided to flee from Spain. Most of the Jews who came out from Spain, they moved to places like Central, Eastern Europe, Northern Africa. But on the other hand, 1492, we learn about 2,000 families that came from Spain directly back home, back to the land of Israel. My family was among these 2,000 families. So 1492, after they left
Mhm.
Spain, they returned back home to the land of Israel. Mind you, Israel at that time was a very small country. In those days, there weren't so many cities, towns, and villages like what we have today. At that time, there were only four Jewish cities in Israel: Tzfat in Upper Galilee, Tiberias by the Sea of Galilee, Jerusalem, and Hebron. So my family settled down. Part went to Tzfat, but vast majority of the family they came to Tiberias. So originally we are from Tiberias. Nowadays I live in Haifa, but the origins are from Tiberias, Sea of Galilee. Now, in my family, I'm third generation of tour guides. My grandfather, rest in peace, he was a tour guide. My father was a tour guide, and now this is my turn. So, since I remember myself,
Mm.
every weekend and holidays, my father and grandfather they used to take us sightseeing. So, since I remember myself, I remember touring Israel and hearing all of the explanations and the history and this and that. So this is something that stays in the family.
Wow. Well, thanks for sharing that. And so you are what we call Sabra Israeli. You've been born and raised in the land of Israel, and you are, I have to say, a tour guide par excellence. We have thoroughly enjoyed the tours that you have led for us. As a matter of fact, we've been a little disappointed from time to time when we tried to get you to lead a tour and you were already busy. You're a very, very busy man.
Thank God. Thank God for that. After the two
Yes,
years of COVID 19, when we
exactly.
had nothing, so now, we thank God for every second.
Yeah, exactly. Well, listen, tell us a little bit, maybe the most exciting tour experience that you ever had. What was kind of some of the most exciting tours you've led, and some of the highlights that you'll never forget?
Listen, the highlights, these are very special, unique sites that we visit that not many groups go to. Like there are some very special places in Samaria or in Judea or even in Upper Galilee, Golden Heights, where most of the groups don't go to, and we take people there. So every time that we visit one of the most unique sites, it makes me feel excited every time. Like this is the first time that I lead groups there. And a part of that, Jeff, I have experience of 30 years. So during the past 30
Yeah.
years, we've seen a lot, we've experienced a lot. I think that if one day I will retire, I can write encyclopedia of the memories of the weirdest and the most crazy things that happened with our groups.
Well, Isaac, I agree. You really should write an encyclopedia, but you missed your cue. You were supposed to say that the most exciting tour that you've ever been on are the tours that you've led with me and my groups. That's what you were supposed to say.
Of course. Jeff, we don't have to say that. It's obvious.
Exactly. Um, Listen, we're gonna talk about a special tour that's coming up, but before we get there, talk about what makes touring Israel different than touring any other country.
Okay. I tell you, when you come to Israel, I think that most of the people come here, they don't come here for a regular vacation. It's not like a regular holiday, like if you go to Italy or Spain, Portugal, French Riviera, etc. With all the respect to these European countries that I love to go to. I think that Israel, this is a life changing experience. I believe and I see that most of the people
Hmm.
who come here to the land of Israel, they come mainly from religious, theological purposes. Vast majority of the people who come here, they come in order to get connected to the Bible, to the scriptures, to have a much better understanding to the Bible. When we say Bible, we mean to say, of course, the Old and the New Covenant, time of the first and second temple. And vast majority of the people that I guide, I see that this experience, I don't call it a tour because I don't think that this is an ordinary tour. This is an experience, and most of the people that come here, it changes their lives because vast majority of the people, that I talk
Yeah.
to on the last day, they say, "Wow, this really changed our lives." And you know what is the most beautiful thing that I love to hear from them? Wow, I have the desire to go back home, to sit down, and to read my Bible again. From now on, when I read the Bible, it will never be the same. It will not be anymore black and white. And I think that this is the best compliment
Hmm.
that I can get when I hear people speak like that. So, as I said, this is not a tour, this is life-changing experience. And most of the people that come here, this is mainly from religious reasons.
Excellent. Now, Isaac, you already mentioned some highlights. You talk about Judea and Samaria, some of those. Do you have any other sort of favorite places that you like to visit or take people to experience in Israel?
Jeff, you're asking me a very difficult question because all of Israel is my favorite because every site is very
Hmm.
different and very unique in a special way. Like I've been in Israel so many times. So the northern part of the country is beautifully green and lush and a lot of water and greenery. Southern part is the desert and it's very dramatic when you explore the desert, when you see the
Yeah,
mountains and how barren is that area. So I think every site is different and unique in its own way. And if you tell me if there are some places which are your favorite, I cannot answer this question. Because if I ask you, for example, how many children do you have? And you will tell me I have three or four or five children. And then I ask, okay, who is your most favorite, a boy or girl? You cannot answer such a question. So this is my answer to the question that you asked me.
fair enough. Fair enough. Listen, we were together about 3, 4 weeks ago. We were together 3, 4 weeks ago, and you've also helped us with some on-screen presence for our television show. So, we want to say thank you for that. You've been on our TV show now a number of times, and just a few weeks ago, we were shooting episodes for the new season. And you took us to some amazing places as we looked to discover Jerusalem from Genesis to Jesus. And I know you have at least one story about getting recognized from being on our show. Uh,
Yes,
tell us the story about the lady that came to talk to you near the Western Wall.
this is a very good, funny story. So, a few months ago, I'm with my group waiting in line to go to the Western Wall tunnels. And while I'm waiting in line, another group walks in with their tour guide, a woman tour guide. I don't know her. All of a sudden, she sees me. She was running towards me, jumping on me, literally jumping on me, and started to kiss me and to hug me like crazy. Now, I don't know this woman. And I see my group looking at me like this, and I know immediately, what they're thinking. And I tell them, hey, 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 ladies and gentlemen, I'm a married man. I swear to you, I don't know this woman. I don't know why she's kissing me like this. And then she came to me and said, Isaac, I know you. I said, yeah, but I don't know you. She said, no, no, I know you. And you saved my life. I said, how did I save your life if I don't know you? And she said, listen, I saw you in YouTube guiding Bethsaida. You remember, Jeff, a few years ago, we made a show about Bethsaida. I said, yes. And she said, Bethsaida to me was the most terrible site in Israel. I didn't know how to guide there. And every time when I had in my
Hmm.
itinerary Bethsaida, I used to talk to the tour leader, try to convince him not to go there, to go to different sites. But all of a sudden, I saw you guiding in Bethsaida. You opened my eyes. Now I know how to guide and what to say. So I took my group there, and the people enjoyed it so much and came to me and said this was the most beautiful site that they ever visited in Israel. So thank you so much. So I said, and where is my cat? So this is thanks to me being so famous in YouTube.
Yeah, well, listen, we'll take some credit for helping make you famous, and you also should know that our partners here in Canada who watch the television show, they when they call in, they always, almost always mention Isaac, and if we say that we're doing a tour, they will ask us first question: is Isaac going to be leading the tour? And a couple times we've had to say, no, unfortunately, Isaac's unavailable. However, we want to talk today about something special that you and I and our team have cooked up for 2024. And we're kind of announcing this today. This is going to be just a very, very special unique, one of a kind, maybe never before done tour of Israel. And it's coming next June. And so we we are going to make sure that we get the dates up on our website and some information about this tour that's coming. If you go to firstcenturyfoundations.com/tours, you're going to see that that this is in the works. We're just waiting for final pricing because it's not until June, and they won't give us airfares until a year before. So we have to kind of wait for the numbers. But I want you to tell our listeners and our viewers why this tour is so special and why they should come and be a part of it.
With pleasure. So, what we are planning to do, this is something, and you said it right, which has never ever done before. We're going to cover literally all of Israel. We're going to cover Israel from the most northern point of the country, which means Mount Hermon, all the way down to the most southern point of the country, Red Sea and Eilat, and from the most western part of Israel, which means Mediterranean Sea, to the most eastern part of the country, River Jordan. So literally, we're going to cover all of Israel, and we're going to explore every geographical part of the country. Mount Hermon, Golan Heights, Hula Valley, Sea of Galilee, of course, Galilee, coastline, Jezreel Valley, Judea, Samaria, Jordan Valley, Dead Sea, Arava Valley, the desert of the Negev, and something like that has never done before. No, sometimes people come to Israel for 2 or 3 tours. So, first tour, they cover the northern part. Then, next time, they do a little bit in the south. And then the last tour, they do sites that they didn't do in the first 2 tours. But we cover everything from A to Z with all, and I emphasize the word all, the most important biblical sites, Old and New Testament, all of the nature reserves and national sites of Israel, the main cities, and this is something amazing. Amazing. Me personally, I'm so looking forward for this tour.
Well, Isaac, I'm really excited for this tour too, and I really am hoping and praying that people get on board. We have a limited number of spaces, and I want to explain to you why. This tour, while it is going to be amazingly special because of everything that Isaac just said and all of the sites that we are going to see, it's also going to be special because you, if you come and join us on this tour, are going to be part of kind of our live studio audience as we shoot 2 seasons of the First Century Foundation's television show. Isaac is going to be working with us on the sites to film the segments that we need for our show. We're going to be filming 26 episodes during this, I think it's 16-day tour on the ground in Israel. And also we'll be filming Isaac doing his presentations to the group as well, because this is something that Isaac is going to be releasing to a lot of his followers also. So it's a really exciting project. Here's what I want you to know. If you come, we have about 20 spaces. And if you come, you will likely be on television. So you need to know that up front. Make sure you comb your hair in the morning and look your best. But also, you will be experiencing this amazing itinerary that we have never offered before and that we're not aware of anyone ever offering before. It's so extensive. And so we just want everyone to come and be a part of this. And I think it's going to be just an absolutely great time as we travel the country together. One more thing I'll say, you sort of need to know that it's going to be different than a lot of tours. There will be some time where you're standing and watching and waiting because, we're getting set up and doing some of those other things. However, how often do you get a chance to be on TV or be in Isaac's videos that he's going to be sharing with all of his followers? Not very often. And the most important part of this tour is that My wife and I are going to be hosting, and Isaac is going to be the tour guide. These are the two most important things that people need to know, right, Isaac?
Yes, absolutely. And people have the privilege to join to a tour which has never ever been done before. Never. This is the first time. We are pioneers. We are pioneers.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Listen, Isaac, talk to us about some of the highlights of this tour. You know, we when we do a tour, we typically do the sites at the Galilee. We typically do Bet Shan. We typically do Masada, all of which will be included in this tour as well. All of those things that we normally do will be a part of it. Talk to us about a few of the sites that we often don't get to. Sites like the sites in Judea and Samaria, sites like the crater at Mitzpah Ramon, or the Arad, you know, the Tel Arad, some of those places that we don't normally get. Share a little bit about those and why people should check this out.
With pleasure. Because a part of what we call the classic tour, which, as you said, includes the coastline, Mount Carmel, around the Sea of Galilee, Masada, Dead Sea, of course, Jerusalem, we do some more. For example, the day that we visit the region of Samaria. So one of the sites that we go to is Shiloh. Over there, we see the place where for 369 years stood the original Holy Ark of the Covenant. Remember when Joshua and the Israelites returned back to the land of Canaan, Shiloh was the first capital city. This is where they built the sanctuary with the tent of the meeting. So we see the place where for 369 years stood the original Holy Ark of the Covenant. Another important site that we visit in Samaria, Mount Gerizim. This is the most holy place in the world for the Samaritans. And then we learn about the Samaritans, from where they came from, why Mount Gerizim became to be the most holy place in the world, and the reasons for the conflicts and the tension between Jews and Samaritans during the time of the Second Temple, or the day that we explore the region of Judea. We go to Hebron, visit the cave of Machpelah, where Abraham buried Sarah, where later on Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Rebecca, and Leah were buried. Very important place. By the way, Cave of Machpelah, that was the first site that Abraham first bought in the land of Israel. Abraham is the first Jewish man in the history of the world. Or when we go south to the Negev, you said it right, we visit Machtesh Ramon. Now, there is no way to translate the Hebrew word Machtesh to English because the Negev, Israel, this is the only place in the whole world where we have this geological phenomena called Machtesh. Machtesh is similar to a crater, but it was formed in a different way. So we go to Machtesh Ramon and we learn from geological point of view how the Machtesh was formed. Or also in the Negev, we follow the Nabateans, perfumes and spices route. Not many people go there. And this is something also that we tied to biblical times, to biblical eras, a region of the Dead Sea. We see the area of Sodom and Gomorrah. We see Lot's wife. We talk about the Moabites, about the Ammonites. So these are some of the very special sites that we visit in this tour. Friends, we cannot tell you more about it right now. This is like Dynasty, okay? To be continued. If you join us, we promise you, you will not be disappointed. You will go to places where you even didn't dream that Israel has such a beautiful places to offer to the visitors.
Well, Isaac, thank you. I'm excited about this tour because I'm going to a number of places that I've never been before, and it is going to be absolutely, I think, spectacular. Now, We need to let you know the dates. The tentative dates right now are June 10 to 27. It's a 16-day tour with travel on either end. And so you need to be aware of all of that. And because it's a longer tour, of course, it'll be priced a little differently than your 10-day tours. But I want you to know it's going to be worth every single penny. And we are going to keep it absolutely as reasonably as we can. And listen, you are not going to want to miss this experience. And so we just encourage you to go on our website. We will have information up there very soon. And it is really something that you're going to need to get your name in, your deposit in for quickly so that you can hold your spot. As I said, we really do have a hard number of about 20 people that we can bring. And so, and of course, that's due to some of the logistics of filming and all of the things that we're going to have to be doing. But this is going to be a tour that you will not soon forget. And so I'm excited. I think it's going to be amazing. And I'm looking forward to visiting some of those sites that we've not been at before. And Isaac, always when I go to sites, even when I go to sites that I've been to many times, when I listen to you talk about them, I always hear something new. I learn something a little different than I've heard before. So I know that you're not going to disappoint. This is going to be an amazing experience, and I just want you to know we're really looking forward to it. Anything else you want to share with the people who are watching or listening about our tour?
Looking forward seeing all of you here next year in June.
All right. Well, listen, you heard it here, and this is going to be fantastic. And we want to make sure not only that you come on the tour, but make sure you watch our next season of the show, Jerusalem from Genesis to Jesus. It should be beginning to air this fall around September, October. And we want to encourage you to do that because Isaac is a big part of that season of shows, and you're going to enjoy it. It'll give you a little bit of a taste, a little bit of a teaser of what you're going to experience when you come with us on the TV tour next June. So thanks so much for tuning in and for listening today. Isaac, thank you for being our guest once more.
This is my pleasure, Jeff. Thank you very much for hosting me. This is always a pleasure.
Well, it's our pleasure as well. And we just, again, want to say thanks to everybody for watching and have a very blessed day.
Bye bye. Shalom.
Thanks for watching. You can listen to this entire podcast on your favorite audio podcast platform. Find the link below. And while you're at it, don't forget to click subscribe and follow us on Facebook so you can stay connected to First Century Foundations.